I'm Lisa Wetzel, and I channel information from the Akashic Records. We ask the questions, and they give us the answers. And Carrie's going to ask the question.
What is the ego?
The ego is the mind when it has been created to believe certain and specific items when they are not necessarily the truth. They're laughing and saying when they're not the truth. I added necessarily. So when they're not the truth. When you ask what the ego is, it's a part of the brain that has been created in order to hold memories. When you begin to gain an understanding of the memories that are held within the ego, those memories create a certain belief system and certain reactions. And when you begin to see that those can be detrimental or harmful to your being, to the truth of your existence, you'll begin to recognize why we beg and plead that you let those memories go. These can be harmful to the subject of the true spiritual body. And what I'm seeing is that I'm seeing that spiritual essence within in the body, and where the beliefs are that are harmful to us. There's black spots, and those black spots are almost like dead spots. And so when you begin to gain the understanding that the true spiritual being in the most purest essence, there's a complete white light body. And when there's harmful entities that reside within it, there will be dead spots. And so what I'm getting the understanding of is that if we're to be the truest, purest spiritual beings, the enlightened ones, then we get to that point where those memories are not within us anymore. And what my understanding is that to become the purest essence of who you are, you must let the ego go. And when we talk about the ego, it's not a bad thing, but it holds on to the worst aspects of who we are. And really what it is, and what I'm seeing is that, you know, you can be somebody that's arrogant or think you're better than somebody else, but you can also be subservient to others and feel like if you sacrifice yourself or give to others, that's humility. That's not part of the ego, the way that we were taught to believe, but it's still a control that it's over the body, and that it's the mind that is dictating to us what we should do and what we shouldn't do. And when you can gain the true understanding of this belief system, you'll begin to recognize how detrimental the ego is to the human being and the human body. So this is the truth that lies within you. When you are the truth of who you truly are, you'll recognize that there are no systems that control your behavior in a way that would be detrimental to you. And so I want to make sure that you understand when we talk about control that's detrimental to us, we're created to be individuals and to be who we are, the truest essence of who we are. And when we get to a certain level of consciousness and we have that understanding of that pure light body, you'll begin to recognize that you're living in your own true essence. You're not living in somebody else's. And so as long as we allow the influence of another's beliefs, we became altered from our truest form of existence. And so what the ultimate goal is to become a true enlightened being is being able to and truly let go of those cages that we have embedded around us, limiting our purest existence, the truth and the purest of knowledge, and everything that is.
So who created the ego?
Man. Man did, and it started from one man trying to control another, and that's really where it all began.
So how does the ego control us?
By dictating what's right or wrong, by telling us that we can or cannot do something, or that we are more than or less than. The ego controls in a way that is detrimental to the human body. And as we've mentioned before, we need you to gain the understanding of the complexity of what's been created. There are many aspects and illusions that go along with the definition or the term ego. What we want you to know and what we want you to understand is that we hold the key. We are the key that will unlock the gate or the door to the jail cell that you have been living in. When you begin to recognize that you can take off the mask of who you have been led to be and become who you truly are, you'll begin to recognize freedom in a way that you've never known before. Allow us to help you, and we'll give you the guidance in order to set free all of those thoughts and beliefs that have become limiting your ability to come to the purest essence of who you are. And we will create the peace that you have been seeking.
And how do we control the ego?
You allow the recognition to come to you of who you truly are. When you begin to see the essence of the spiritual aspects of your being, you'll begin to recognize how tarnished you have been living. When you begin to see that there is change that can be had, that the life that you have been living in the past is not needed any longer, you'll begin to recognize that at that time you're in control. You're in control and nobody else is, because at that point you're living your life for you and not under somebody else's guidance. Okay, I hope that was helpful. So thank you for joining me, and you can follow me on my website at lisawetzel.com. You can also follow me on my podcast, which I co-host. It's Mystical Lodge Radio, and it is at mysticallodge.com. You can follow me on Facebook at Lisa Wetzel, Akashic Records Consultant. YouTube is Lisa Wetzel, Akashic Records Consultant. And on Instagram is Akashic Records Lisa Wetzel. And thank you again for joining me.